We're outside of JJ's To Go in Centralia, where you'll find protesters outside of the restaurant as it faces a wave of scrutiny.
A wave of scrutiny means 9 people, apparently.
After it decided it would not cater a same-sex wedding.
And good. Take your little lesbo dollars and go somewhere else.
Due to the owner's religious beliefs.
I'm beginning to feel like in order to do these news stories, they force people to have friends go protest. So it looks like more of a thing than it is, because there are 9 protesters here. It doesn't exactly look like a wave, but whatever, you know, gotta get these clicks. Definitely, I understand what the news is getting at here. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Before we go any further, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and we are making great progress. So please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Okay, so I ended up seeing this story the other day when I was on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and apparently these lesbies had planned to have their wedding catered by a place called JJ's To Go in Centralia, Washington. The owner's name is Britton.
We love them. Jesus loves them. They are human just like us.
Britton is the owner of JJ's. She says she doesn't discriminate against anyone, saying this decision is following her faith.
And here's my thing with all of this. I looked into it. I did research. One, I don't know why we want so badly as gay, or if you want to expand it out to LGBT or LGBTQ or LGBTQIA or LGBTQIA plus or 2S LGBTQPIA plus. Whatever the letters are these days, I can't keep up and I'm gay. But I don't know why we are trying to force our money on people. Because like I said, I did research, and this lesbian couple, Raya Culkins and Lillian Glover.
Raya Culkins and her fiance Lillian Glover are hurting.
Planned to have their wedding in January, so they were getting everything squared away. And then when they went to the restaurant to get everything set, the owner of the restaurant noticed that she was dealing with a lesbian couple, and then she backed out. She gave them the old, I don't think this is gonna work out for me.
She kind of put her hands up to her face and said, "I'm really sorry, we're not going to be able to cater your wedding."
And so, of course, they were heartbroken.
A shock to me because of how long we've been in that area. We've never received like that blatant of discrimination to our face.
But at the same time, I definitely do get that. And the reason that I say that I get that is because a wedding is an immersive experience. In order to help somebody with their wedding, you basically have to be in the wedding.
The part of a wedding being a religious ceremony and a religious act between a man and a woman goes against my beliefs and my faith, and I cannot participate.
And if your religious beliefs dictate that you don't consider that to be something that you want to be a part of, I gotta say, I'm on your side as far as you deciding that you don't want to be a part of that. And what they were going to pay to have their wedding catered by this particular establishment was $3,200. And if you're willing to turn down $3,200, I'm fine to let you not take my $3,200. The only thing I have a problem with is the owner of this establishment. She lies to herself and says that she's not discriminating, but let me read you the definition of discrimination really quick. Treating a person or particular group of people differently, especially in a worse way, from the way in which you treat other people because of their race, gender, sexuality, etc. So that by definition is discrimination, especially if you look at the text messages before she knew that she was dealing with a lesbian couple, because the mother of one of the brides, I'm sorry. I find gay weddings funny in a way. Internalized homophobia is what some would call that. But anyway, if you look at the text messages, she was super excited about catering this wedding. At first she was like, "Oh, I can't wait. Thank you for letting us handle your big day." So then old Jesus Jessica sets up a face-to-face, and the next thing she knows, she's sitting across from Rug Munch Raya and Lick 'em Up Lily. And she's like, "I had no idea I was going to be catering the wedding of the female reboot to Brokeback Mountain. Ladies, I'm out. I ain't doing it. I'm not here to watch you get pronounced woman and wife. I got good Christian values. And she must have been pretty strong in her convictions in order to turn down $3,200 in this economy. Shit, you offer me $3,200 to cater your wedding, I'm gonna grab my air fryer and I'll be anywhere you need me to be. I don't care who you're marrying. And just keeping it a buck with you guys, if I were planning on getting married and I were dealing with an establishment that I wanted to be any part of my wedding, the first thing I would ask is, are you okay with doing a gay wedding? And I know some people would be like, you should just make them do it. Legally, they have to. No. I do not want to force anybody to be a part of my wedding, my special day. I don't want anybody to be there begrudgingly. I don't want anybody to be there uncomfortably. And even in the receipts that were provided, as far as text messages and email, the owner had said that it would be a full service wedding. So that means they're not just setting up and it's buffet style. They're actually going to serve people. And so you really do have to be there and a part of the reception at that point. So I get it when the owner decides to back out. Now, is it discrimination? By definition, yes. But at the same time, having the negative energy around wouldn't be worth it to me, even if the food was exactly what I wanted or what I really liked. So trying to force somebody or expecting somebody to live up to it, even though they're not going to be comfortable with it, to me doesn't make any sense either. I mean, another person that I would really want to know about, because if you're just renting equipment for your weddings, like chairs, or you're just going to use a hall and you don't have to have the actual people that run the hall or own the hall there during your event, they're just basically going to come unlock and let you in and that kind of thing, I can understand how you wouldn't really care who you're doing business with. But when it comes to the food, I don't want anybody that doesn't like me or doesn't support anything I do handling my food. Who knows? She could have actually catered your wedding after all, did it begrudgingly, and gave everybody diarrhea and had all the other lesbos that you invited to your wedding shitting their pantsuits all night. So be thankful that she passed on it. A wedding photographer, that's another person that you don't want to force to do anything as far as a wedding goes. Because if you hire a wedding photographer, they're supposed to capture the love. They're supposed to capture the family vibes. They're supposed to capture the general mood. So you wouldn't want to force a wedding photographer to do that, because a wedding photographer also handles the wedding video. And if you do force a wedding photographer to do your same-sex wedding, don't be surprised when your wedding video comes out looking like an anti-gay propaganda documentary. And I bet not see you on Judge Judy when it does, because you're forcing people to be at things that they don't want to be at. I also don't understand why you wouldn't go out of your way to use an LGBT-owned restaurant or catering business. I mean, there have to be LGBTQ-owned businesses that would love to cater your wedding. So to me, it really doesn't make sense to try to force somebody to be somewhere that they don't want to be. And one of the other reasons I support this business owner choosing not to do this wedding, even though I do consider it to be discrimination by definition, is because there is a pattern that will happen when it comes to LGBT and social justice type things. And the example that I'll use is Chick-fil-A. So when the gay community found out that Chick-fil-A, even though it's Christian owned, was financially donating to different organizations that were anti-gay marriage, the gay community turned on Chick-fil-A and suddenly wanted to boycott Chick-fil-A. So if you're going to act like you're offended and you actually care where you're spending your money, but then once you find out that where you're spending your money is supporting causes that you don't agree with, then I think that there is something admirable about a business owner like the owner of JJ's To Go just saying from the beginning, look, I'll be upfront with you. I don't support what it is you're doing on a religious level. I don't want to lie to you about what it is I am or what it is I support and have you support me under false pretenses as far as if you want to continue to come into my restaurant and eat here as a guest, that's fine. But I don't want to be a part of your wedding. And when it comes to the lawsuit part, I get that it's against Washington state law, and I get that people want to enforce these laws. To me, I would just let it go. I would not waste time, money, and effort, even if I thought there was something I could gain from it, in order to legally make it so this person has to do something that they don't want to do moving forward. And we've already been through this with the guy in Denver, Colorado and gay cakes, and that went all the way to the Supreme Court. There was also a web designer that dealt with the same thing. And I believe in both of those cases, those people were able to exercise their religious freedom and just say that we don't want to do these things. I know for sure with the web designer, that's the way it turned out. With the gay cakes in Denver, I can't remember what the final outcome on that was. I know that it went all the way to the Supreme Court with that one though. And you know, when it comes to the Trump thing, I mean, like how many businesses, services, and designers have come out and outright said that they wouldn't be involved with any type of MAGA event? So let's flip it completely on its head. Let's say that you're an LGBTQ business owner and you get asked to cater an event and you end up meeting with these people, same way this situation went down, and you realize that you're going to be catering a MAGA event, or even worse, a far right group. And you say, I'm not for this, so I don't feel comfortable catering your event. So at that point, is that too discrimination? Because I think it falls under the same definition. You are treating, I guess because it's not race, gender, or sexuality, as political affiliation. But to me, it's kind of like discrimination is discrimination. And either we're going to let people do what they want to do and not do what they don't want to do, or we're going to force everybody to do anything that they're getting paid for. Any service you have to offer across the board, even though a lot of businesses say we have the right to refuse service to anybody, that should no longer be enforced. And now everybody should just have to offer the same services to everybody, no matter what their affiliations are. And if those were the two choices I would have, I would say to let people discriminate. So I would say in certain circumstances, you should be able to bow out of offering certain services based on how immersive they're going to be. If it's just you coming into a restaurant, I think anybody should be able to come into a restaurant. But if I actually have to go and be part of your event, I think I should be able to say, I'm not comfortable in this particular situation, so I don't want to be a part of that. And this story did end up having a happy ending, not like that, but this story did end up having a happy ending because they ended up finding another restaurant to handle their wedding. And that's one of the things that did bother me about this story. And I've seen this happen several times in the past. It bothers me when people are in a tough spot and then they find somebody to bail them out of that tough spot. In this case, it was another caterer. And at the end of the story, one of the girls even says they now consider those people like family because they stepped in and were willing to cater their wedding.
However, the couple does plan on taking legal action against the business. Until then, they're just happy another caterer accepts them and their marriage.
We shook their hand. I'm like, you're family with us now. You stepped up in a moment. It was probably, one of the biggest, hardest moments that we've had to encounter in our lives.
And then in the entire time they're talking the news, they never even give so much as a shout out to the business that actually did decide to cater their wedding. And it really bothers me when people do that, because it's like, yeah, I get it if you want to call out the people that did you wrong. But when somebody comes in and actually is willing to step up, why wouldn't you give them a shout out and make sure everybody knows their name as well? Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you want to see a video of me talking about the Ohio bathroom bill and saying that I think people should piss outside if they don't like the rules, check out the video on your screen. As always, thank you for watching. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.